We're going to talk about describing graphs, tables, relations. We are going to look at what domain and range is. Domain is going to be all x values. And then range is going to be all y values. All right, let's look at domain. Domain, the set of all possible x values of a function. Okay, other names for it are input, independent, it's the input, it's the independent. So domain, x inputs, independent, input, all those things. Okay, ordered pairs. From the ordered pairs, remember with ordered pairs, we have the x values are the first, x comma y. So we're going to underline all the x values. So underline them 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's our domain. We are going to put them as a set with these little curly braces. Okay? So the curly braces are going to be like an S and then a backwards S. That's how I make my curly braces. S, backwards S. S, and backwards S. So then I'm going to list out my numbers in order from least to greatest. Then my other one's going to be a backwards S and a forwards S. It doesn't have to be perfect. I should have done it more this way. Okay, we're going to skip number 2. We're going to go to the table. And it was kind of cut off. This should say -1, 0, 1, 2. For some reason they were cut off. So all of these x values, circle the x values, that is our domain. So if it says, what is the domain? You're just going to list out all the x values. So we're going to do a little curly brace again. Doesn't have to be perfect. -1, 0, 1, and 2. Number 4, we're listing out the domain again. So this is our domain. All of these numbers. So we're going to list those out. So I'm going to list them down here. -2, -1, 0, and 1. Okay, let's go to the graph. We want all the x values. Let's label the x-axis. So we want to see what the furthest x is. See this point? That x value is going to be at -1. This x value is going to be at 0. This is at 1. This one's at 2. This one's at 3. This one's at 4. So we're going left to right. I'm going to write that here. Left to right on the graph. We want to know what all the possible values are from the left to the right. And then we make our list. So our list is the furthest left is -1, then it goes 0, then it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're not going up or down. We're just going left to right for domain. So we're going to make that as our list. So I'm going to write it up here. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you have a graph, you can make it to a table and then look at it that way if you want. Okay, so go ahead and look at number 6. Go left to right. See what the values are. Going left to right. Going left to right. So for left. You see what numbers those are. So remember, left to right. So it goes, this is how far left it goes. What number is that at? -5. Then what's the next point? How far left does that one go? What about this point? And what about this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, actually. So you're just looking at how far left and right. Remember, we don't care up or down. We're just going left and right. So that's our list. -5, -2, 1, and 4. All right, let's go to number 2. It says, what is the domain of the function f of x equals 2x plus 3, given the range is -1, 3, and 7? So range is y, right? So let's make a table. X and y. We have -1, 3, and 7 on the y side because that's our range. We want to know what the x side is. So it's like 2x plus 3. We're going to plug in different numbers to get these values. So I'm going to do, let's do -1. So if a y value is -1, I'm going to say that equals y, and I'm going to solve that. So I'm going to do plus 3 to both sides. We don't have a whole lot of room, so we're just going to do one of them right now. -1 plus 3 is 2. Then we divide by 2, and we get x equals 1. So this would be 1. Okay, to get 3, it would have to be 2 times what plus 3 gives me 3? It have to be 0. Um, 2 times what? 2 times x plus 3 is going to give me 3. X has to be 0. Okay, the next one is 2x plus 3 gives me 7. How do we multiply 2 times what? Plus 3 more is going to give me 7. 2. Yeah, because 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. So this is 2. Oh, you know what? I did this one wrong, didn't I? Did anybody catch it? I should have done -3. Yep. So this would be -4, which gives us -2. Normally we would do this one on the calculator. So that's a -2. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You're matching them up. Okay. So then the domain on this one is -2, 0, and 2. I put it up here for number 2. All right, let's go to the next thing, which is range. So turn back to the front. Remember, it's the y values. Okay, the range, the set of all possible y values of a function. Other names for range are, if x is input, what is y? Output. Yep, and then dependent, because x is independent. And then also, y is the same as f of x. All right, ordered pairs. We're only looking at the y value. So it's the second number. So let's underline all the second numbers. We're going to put them in order from least to greatest. So 4, 5, 6, 7, already in order. 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to skip the number 2. We're going to come back to that. Number 3 from a table, we want range, y values. We were missing some numbers. It didn't copy very good. There we go. So fill in the numbers with the same as mine. All right, so our our range is going to be, let's put them in order from least to greatest. What's the smallest y value? -4. And then -1. Then 2, 5. So that's from a table. The next one's from a mapping. We want the y values, but we don't have y. What's the same as y, though? F of x is y. You might see that on the test. F of x is y. So we're going to list out all of these numbers for our range. In order from least to greatest. -5, -2, 1, and 4. Okay, let's go to the graph. So if x was left and right for domain, range is going to be low to high or down to up. We're going to do how far down to how far up.
So we'll start from the bottom?
Yes. Because remember, we want to do the lowest first anyway. So let's start at the bottom and go to the top. So this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6 is how low it goes. And then let's go up. The next one. -3. And then right in line with the axis. 0. Good. And then up.
3.
3, and then up
6.
6. So we're numbering the y-axis with all the points that correspond. So this is going to be -6, -3, 0, 3, and 6. So how far down to how far up? Okay, go to number 6. How far down does it go? -6. Then next one.
-2.
And then.
2.
And then.
-6.
Yes. So we make our list. I'm going to do it down here. -6. -2. 2 and 6. So we're just making lists for domain and range right now, because we have a list of what 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So when we make a list, we'll have 4 y values. Okay, let's go to this one. For domain, it was a little fuzzy, kind of confusing, but range is actually a whole lot easier. What is the range of the function f of x equals 2x minus 3? This one's minus 3. Given the domain is -2, 0, and 2. So this is xy again. But on this one, they give us domain. So they give us our x values. So go ahead and put our x values on the table. And we want to find the y values. So we are actually going to do like f of -2. Because x is -2, we want to find out what it equals if x is -2. So I'm going to use this function right here, 2x minus 3, to do that operation. So 2 times -2, I'm replacing x with -2, and I'm going to subtract 3. We can do it on our calculator, but I didn't let y'all get your calculator today. So, what's 2 times -2? -4, and then minus 3. If they're both negative, -7. So let's do f of 0. Now I'm going to plug in 0 for x on this same equation right there. 2 times 0 minus 3. -3, because 2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 is just -3. Okay, the next one, f of 2. 2 times 2 minus 3. Let's do it in our head. What's 2 times 2? 4 minus 3. 1. You're going to glue this in to make sure your EQ is at the top.